Okay guys, today I'm going to try to give you a little perspective of what I've been going through here the last couple days and just how thick and rough this country is. I'm still up here at the Davis homestead where I've been staying for the last couple nights while I try to find my cabin down there in bush country. And here in a second you're going to see just how hairy this really gets out here. But you just keep pushing through and you do the best you can. So I'm going to take you on the trail that I've cut so far all the way down to the river, and you're going to get a much better idea of what I've been dealing with. Okay, so here we go. By the way, this is the Davis homestead right here. Okay, here we go. Hey, bear! So about every 25-30 yards, I'm yelling, "Hey, bear," just to kind of let these guys know that I'm in the area. You definitely don't want to try to surprise a bear or come upon a bear that's got a kill. Those are seriously dangerous situations, and I try to avoid that at all costs. So I'm constantly yelling or something or talking, or every now and then when I get spooked, I'll let a round off. So this is the trail I've cut so far. This stuff was easy. This is no problem whatsoever. Hey, bear! And I started marking trees that you'll be able to see every now and then. Those are all my marks. This is just kind of a glimpse of what you're looking at. This stuff right, these yellow plants that you see, I believe they're called firethorn or something of that nature. And the stalks of them are just absolutely littered and covered with stickers that'll stick into you and cause you to swell up. Learned that the first day. So I try to avoid these things at all cost. But back where I'm going, there's not too many of these guys. Just here. Hey, bear! Okay, so we've walked just for a little bit here, and we've come to the bluff. And once we go down this bluff, about another 150, 200 yards down there is the river. No problem to get to the river. Right on the other side of the river, 200 to 300 feet in, 225, 250 feet in, is supposed to be my cabin. Now I have generally moved in a direct line from the Davis cabin down here, and I've read my maps the best I can. And I tell you what, guys, it just gets so thick and hairy out here that sometimes you can't see 20 yards in front of your face. But when I was cutting through all this with the weed eater attachment, with the blade attachment for the weed eater, that was no big deal. I'll show you the spots where it started getting pretty darn rough. You'll be able to figure those out for yourself, I promise. Yeah, this is all easy. No problemo on this part of the trail. Hey, bear! Now down here in this little flatland, before we get to the creek, I have seen so many trails and tracks of bear and moose and other things. Kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies a little bit, especially if you're not an experienced woodsman, which, by the way, I am not. So you start to see stuff like that right there where it looks like a natural little trail and whatnot. And that right there, these things were not caused by me. You can clearly see what I did. Alright, you see these damn bushes in front of me? Those are alders. And this right here is a relatively thin little batch of alders. I had no problem coming through here. It was a little tough, but it was nothing that caused me any concern. So I came through here, hacking and cutting and doing the best I could. Hey, bear! And I weaved my way through here. Got a little hairy in here for a minute. And then when you come upon these ferns are no problem. You just really can't see where you're stepping or walking. You just got to kind of push through those guys. So, the first place I cut to was right over into here, where I've got a few supplies stacked. Gas cans and some other tools that I thought that I would initially need at the cabin once I got to it. As you can see over on that bank, chainsaw, weed eater, and stove. And there is a batch of alder, and that's how thick it gets. Now right here is fairly deep, probably up to your knees. So I didn't want to try that right off the bat today because it's already rainy, cold, my body temperature is down a little bit. So I'm going to go upstream about 15 yards into these rapids where it's a little lighter, and hopefully I can hop across without much problem. Okay, first part navigated. Alright, we are now across. Now the last couple of days, hey bear! Uh-oh. That's not good. Hey bear! See those stakes right there? They weren't there yesterday. They were right over here by my stuff. Which means that some animal got into them. Hey bear! Well, that's kind of spooky. Huh. So, looks like there's some pretty good bite marks into them. I'm gonna guess that it wasn't a squirrel. Put these back where they belong. So, that just kind of gives you an idea of what we're dealing with out here. Hey bear! Had to cut all these alder down right here. Hey, bear! And that's where I started cutting a trail in, right over here. Kind of just looking for bear tracks and at the moment to see if I could tell the general direction of where one might have been headed. Well, there's a moose track right there. Hey, bear! Just pause for a minute and see if I can't hear anything. But this place really is beautiful. I've seen sockeye salmon running all up in here the last couple of days. I mean, they're a good 18, 24 inches in length. And some of them, when they're going through the real shallows, you could literally just run out there and snatch one. But at this stage of their life, they're pretty mushy, pretty gamey. What they're doing is they're heading upstream to spawn. But Guitar Bill told me that generally the ones that are coming up this stream right here are lost. They got lost because sockeye generally spawn in lakes and whatnot. Okay, guys. So, in theory, if I'm on the right sandbar, starting point this sandbar, and I've checked this being sandbar number 1, right back behind me where my supplies were, sandbar number 2 being around that bend there, about 130 yards away, 140 yards away. Hey, bear! I'm not in the mood to fool with the bear today. I'm not gonna lie to you. So that other sandbar down there, 100 and something yards, I also cut a trail in through that and came back in through there. And the damnedest thing is I cut an initial trail through here, and we zigzagged back and forth all through here. Couldn't find the cabin. I've done that twice. And then when I cut the trail in around that bend and came in over by those tall white spruce you see up there, came in that way, started zigzagging back and forth, I started seeing some of my tree marks, my tree tape, and that was very disheartening, which means I'd already been all in that area. So I'm going to walk in here and just give you guys a rough estimate of what it is I'm looking at. So here we go. Hey, bear! Now I had to cut all this. These alder patches are just an absolute pain in the ass. Hey, bear! And then when you get to these fern patches, yeah, no problem. You just kick right through this stuff. Okay. So one day, I went through there and just hacked as far that way as I could and wandered all over there near where those trees are. Once again, in theory, the cabin should be over there. It probably is, and I'm walking right past the damn thing. And then From here, I've cut tons of one trail, and even went far over here to the left. But as you can clearly see, guys, that this is no joke. Now, I may just be absolutely out of position, which is more than likely the case, but once I find the cabin, I know that it's really close to the river, within 225 feet, 250 feet. So when I find this damn cabin, I'm going to cut a 20-foot wide trail through whatever I've got to cut through. I don't care if it's alder, I don't care if it's trees, they're coming down, and I'm making a 20-foot wide trail, so you will never miss this thing again. Now when I'm back here, I constantly look for bear tracks. And you can see, so yesterday, I went down this little trail right here, all back in there. Couldn't see hide nor hair. We've been all in here as well. The river is behind us over here. Technically my cabin should be right over in here, guys, but I'm telling you, there's also a clearing, and that clearing means that that guy, whoever he was, whoever initially did this, cut out all the trees from it. And then what grew back more than likely was alder and shrub. So you keep looking up at the tops of the trees, and you're looking for a clearing where you can't find any trees, but there's a lot of scrub.